We are live.
We're back at you.
It's New Year's Eve, y'all. And I hope that you are ready to have a productive 2024. We hope that you have a 2024 that is going to meet your expectations and that all of your dreams come true. Because
Definitely.
I just want to say, if y'all don't know, we're here in Lisbon, Portugal. We're going to go out. We're going to go live on Instagram later, assuming it's not raining, because it was raining just a minute ago. But we know that there's lots of festivities going on. So we're going to go out after this and get into them, because even though it's 3:30 Eastern time, it's 8:30 Lisbon time. So, so it's getting close to that magical hour when everything happens, the ball drops and all of that stuff, whatever we do here in Lisbon. But we've got a special episode planned for today.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
Anything they want to talk about.
All right, y'all. We've heard lots of questions in the comments, lots of questions in the chat, lots of questions in our emails. And folks question, well, if you said this, then why not that? And that and this and that and the other and all of this other stuff.
So we invited you to come on and
ask
us the question.
Grill us. And so we have got about 10 folks who have been following us and have said, yeah, I want to ask you because, I don't know what y'all talking about. Right? So, but first, if you are new to our channel, hey y'all, my name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money. We talk about travel and retiring abroad as we build generational wealth. But if you don't know, about 8 years ago, Rick and I got a wake-up call as we were getting close to retirement age, right?
Yeah.
I'm exhaling because I've been dealing with doing our expenses and getting ready for tax season. We got a wake-up call about 8 years ago, and we looked at our money, and it looked crazy.
Crazy.
But about 3.5, 4 years ago, we got a wake-up call. And we got our finances together. We got our act straight. We really did. And we went from negative 22,000 over 1.1 million in net worth. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button, because we know that over 50% of you who watch our channel are not subscribed. What do you want to hear from us? Let us know in the comments. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you know every single time that we go live or drop a new video. Yes. And so we are going to say hello to the folks who are in the chat, because Jess was the first one who logged in. We see Bobby from Denver and all of these other folks. Maya, we're going to say hello to you. But first, we're going to go ahead and bring on our first guest, and then we will say hi to the folks who are in the chat. Hopefully you guys have plans that are safe. We're in Lisbon. It's going to be safe, y'all. So we are going to bring on one of our first guests, and we're going to let her introduce herself.
Hey,
Angela.
Hi, how you guys doing?
We're good. How are you?
I am excited.
Oops.
You sent her backstage.
I leaned on something. Sorry, y'all.
Yes, I've been listening to you guys maybe 3-4 months. So you guys have me really excited about moving to Lisbon. I'm getting my husband on board, and because we're right around the corner from retirement ourselves. So I'm excited. So, but my question has to do with not necessarily moving to Lisbon or finances. My question is, my husband and I have started our own YouTube channel because we want to have some extra income and doing things, and we have coaching courses and stuff like that. What has been the most challenging part of building your channel, and how have you overcome those challenges?
I knew you were going to look at me.
and I'm moving the microphone closer to him.
The most challenging, I guess, is just within me. It's getting myself motivated to get all the videos and stuff together that I need to get together. Uh, Editing, even though I've done editing for a good portion of my life,
Uh,
but I guess I'm coming out of retirement and getting back into it, being more, I mean, YouTube takes work. It does.
yeah,
It
yeah.
takes some work, and your subjects that you come up with, the different things, making sure that you have what people want to hear, what they need to hear, and trying to show some visuals with it too. We're getting
Hmm.
better at that. We went out and purchased the drone, so I've been practicing with that. There's a learning curve
Okay.
on that,
Hmm.
and it's just pretty much getting back into the groove of editing and different things like that, because I didn't have to do it for so long because I had people to do it.
For you.
Yeah. People work for me. It's like, oh, I need this done, I need this done, and I need this done. And it was done. So
So
now I got, go on.
were you on board with it at first? Because when I
No,
listened to yeah, I understand. That's how my husband was. He's enjoying it now, but it was like pulling teeth.
I wasn't on board well, I won't say I wasn't on board totally with it, because whatever she, comes up with, and she feels that she wants to do, I'm all for it too. But
That's why I love him.
I, but at first I said, well, why don't you do it? And I'll just be in the background.
I can
I'm a
relate.
diva. So, okay, like that's not what I had in mind,
Uh,
but look, I will rewrite this strategy, and all of that if that's what you want to do, baby boy. Like I'm not going to this is not going to be something that we're going to fight about.
No, then I said, well, wait a minute, why not? I want some company too.
The moment I didn't fight to have him involved,
mhm.
he's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait. What do you mean you gonna rewrite the strategy and all of that?" And
Yeah,
I don't, honestly, Angela, I don't think that we would have been as successful had he remained behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Um, he used to sing for a living and
Oh,
has
okay.
actually more professional performer experience, paid professional experience than I do.
Yeah.
But dealing with politics and having to be on
yeah,
and
Mm,
put on a face to meet the faces that you meet, right?
right.
In our recent life has probably prepared me a little bit more. But we wouldn't it would not be the same without him.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And so if you are doing a YouTube channel and if you ask what the biggest challenge is today, the biggest challenge is making sure that we stay fresh and that we stay relevant. It's really easy to get into a routine and not pay attention to what your audience is telling you.
right.
But the biggest thing that I learned is that you have to make sure you know exactly who you're speaking to.
Okay.
Okay. And so, so then if you worked in business, it's like, okay, so I'm going to point to 25 to 45-year-olds who are active and who do.
Mm,
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Just all that marketing stuff, put that in the background and think specifically about people in your life that you would be talking to.
okay.
Yes.
So for
Okay.
us, it was two couples. And you may not have heard this if you're relatively new, and you are, because we've got some folks who've been there since we had 300 subscribers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they're,
Day
they're,
one.
they're the
Day
driver,
ones.
right? They're the driver die folks, right? So in any event, we had two couples in mind, right?
Mhm.
And both of them, we had done a lot of things together as a group. And both couples made way more money than we did.
Mm,
And we didn't understand why they had not already retired or weren't even thinking about
Right.
well, I can't say what they were thinking about, but weren't even talking about it.
mm.
And so those two specific couples is who we started our channel for.
Yes.
Oh,
And
okay.
with them in mind, we started designing what we would talk about to convince them that there were other opportunities and a way to get your money straight, even though you're making like close, as a household, over $200,000 a year.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Right? But you still hustling and grinding. So we designed our channel to speak specifically to those two couples. And then once we started thinking about who they were, then we put the demographics together.
Yeah. And something I think it's important to know, to remember, you're not in competition with anybody else. You're not in competition with anybody else on YouTube that might be saying pretty much the same thing you're saying or doing the same thing you're doing.
Or similar.
It's not a competition. I mean,
Okay.
you collaborate. You talk to each other. We've known couples that started something and are no longer there because they were like, "Oh no, we don't do that. We don't talk to other people. We don't. That's competition."
Okay.
It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
And how did that work out for you?
Yeah.
It's a whole new world. And I think, speaking to that, it comes to whether you have what kind of mindset you have, if it's abundance or if it's built in limitations and scarcity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the people that we know who operate out of fear and scarcity are no longer on YouTube.
Makes sense.
Right. And the folks that know that I'm going to celebrate every single person that I love to see doing this,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that it's going to come back.
Right. There's enough for everybody.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll probably be looking at you and your husband to be on our channel so we can interview you somewhere down the line.
Right. What's the name of
Sounds
your
good.
channel?
It's Love Park Connection.
Love Park
Connection.
Connection.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
all right,
all
y'all.
one
You
word.
hear that? Love Park Connection. What do you talk about?
Well, we've been together for over 30 years. So it is relationship and marriage coach. So that's what we talk about. And we try and take it from a different angle because we have that experience under our belt. So
There's an audience out there for that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, there is.
Definitely.
There is. All right. Well, I appreciate
So now, is your husband thinking about moving abroad?
Oh, he has no choice. He's coming with me. No, he at first he was a little hesitant because his parents are still alive, but he's becoming more and more on board. The more I have him listen to you, Rick, because I needed him to hear another man's perspective.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have him listening to you guys. So he's on board. He's on board. We're in California, so it's as you know, it's expensive here. So
where in California?
The Bay Area.
Okay, because we'll be there January 15th. So if you were in the LA area, I was like, we've got to meet up. But we'll be in Southern California.
Okay.
And we like the Bay Area, but I don't like those freeways. I don't like all them 80, 680, 580, 280, 380.
And they're not free anymore. They're charging us. They're starting to charge us.
Okay.
They were charging when I was there, and I was confused, and I end up on the other side of the bay, and he's trying to give me directions, and I'm like, and they won't let me over. Oh, I hate it.
They don't. No, they don't.
What else you got for us, Angela? Is that it?
That was actually it. I'm going to hear everybody else's questions, but that was it. And I really appreciate you guys, and I enjoy your channel immensely. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Right.
Bye.
You too. Bye. All right, who we got next? We're gonna go ahead and take her off screen. Let's see.
You got to scroll down.
Do I have to scroll down? Okay, I'm sorry. We're going to say she ain't saying, and then I'll go to LaDon and Ronald because I clicked the wrong button. I didn't scroll down. I didn't do it. So sorry to catch you guys off guard. How you doing?
That's okay. It's so nice to see you guys. Thanks for inviting us to do this.
Thanks for coming.
You're welcome. We did a half hour with you guys that summer, Beverly and Anthony.
Yeah.
And, we're really looking forward to seeing you guys in March.
Yep. I saw your email.
Yeah. So I actually have a lot of questions, and I really appreciate the fact that Angela asked about how you guys are doing your business because, of course, we want you guys all to be successful. and
Thank
to
you.
be there for us, right? So
Absolutely.
I do have to look at my notes. One of the things that I'm really curious about is something that I do when I move to new places. And that is to speak. You guys have a little bit of a tag on your signature line, which talks about growing where you are. I believe in growing where you're planted. And I definitely intend that we're going to do that when we get to Lisbon. But I wonder what you guys did when you got there to show your commitment to the local culture. Some of the things I have in mind and some of the things that we do are, subscribing to the local newspaper, even though you can't read it yet, getting a library card, volunteering, things like that. Have you guys found any of those areas that you can engage with?
We've had people talk about volunteering. We haven't done any volunteering because of the time constraints, but
and the language constraint.
yeah, and the language constraint. But we run into people in the neighborhood. We talk to people in the neighborhood. We exchange different things. Speaking of that, there's a young man that works at the store right down the corner, around the corner from us, and he told me day before yesterday when I saw him, he said, "You know what? I love when you come in because I get to practice my English." And I was like, "Really?" Because I love when you talk to me and I can ask you stuff and you'll tell me in Portuguese. So I said it's a trade-off. So that's a good thing. So it's just sharing the English language with someone that wants to learn it and learning their language on top of you. As long as you're trying to do things in the neighborhood, supporting the neighborhood, the coffee shop across the street, the mercado that the a local man and woman own. Making sure that
You're shopping
we
local.
stop there and we shop in their shop. Not all the time. If we need, we go to the grocery store to go get groceries, but we always make sure we get fruits, vegetables, wine, whatever from his store. We always let him know that, hey, we're there. We're going to support you. We always speak to him. The coffee shop across the way from me, and I make coffee every morning. But still, sometimes when we're out and about, we always speak to them. Hi, how you doing? And they know us, and they know when we're not around if we've been gone. My pharmacy. I go to the pharmacy. If I haven't been there for a while, she knows. So, but we're supporting the neighborhood.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that's really different about Portugal, as opposed to probably every city in America, not that I've been to every city, is that large global corporations have not taken over all of commerce, right? And so to Rick's point, the cottage industry is alive and well in Lisbon, in Portugal, period. And I would say, you could do 80% of your shopping outside of the major global companies. So that, and it is very neighborhood focused. It really, really is. But we have subscribed to, so here, there is a system that is a little bit different than the United States, than my understanding of every city in the United States. In the United States, you have a city council, and then you have the state. Right. And you might have, if your county goes through a lot of different cities, you might have county commissioners, a city council and a mayor, right? And then a governor. Well, here we have freguesias, which the direct translation is a parish. Now, parishes in New Orleans are like a little bit above a neighborhood association, but not quite the city, right? Like what we doing here? I don't know. we did not have that in Denver. We did have it in LA, and the neighborhood association boards were actually on the ballot. Not in Denver, but in LA. Here in Portugal, although we don't get to vote, those folks are voted in and they have a budget. Unlike the neighborhood associations in LA that get a little budget, for community things. These people have trucks with the logo on them. They do trash, like it's a whole thing. So there are I think 13 freguesias within the city of Lisbon, and so we are subscribed to their newsletter. We try to go to the neighborhood events and things like that. So the first thing that I would do is figure out what freguesia you're in, and register not only with the hardcover newsletter but also with the e-newsletter. Like our e-newsletter comes out every 2 weeks, but then the printed version comes out once a month. And it shows all of the community events.
Nice.
So you can go. Also, our freguesia has a pool and also has classes. I have now, unlike joining a gym or a rec center, here, at least in our freguesia, they're like on a semester system. So I kept missing the sign in for it, right? But the pool you can join anytime. But the aerobics classes, the yoga classes, everything, of course, is in Portuguese. But hey, child pose is child pose, right? Like, oh, that's the word for that.
Yeah.
You're just
Downward facing dog. Yeah.
Exactly. So come I have to see when we get back from South Africa. I'm going to see if I can go ahead and join those classes, and they're discounted. And the great thing about this about Lisbon that I found is, especially for folks over 65, the stuff is usually basically free. It's free. Then you can go, you understand what's supposed to happen. So you start hearing those words over and over again. That will let you know, that you're understanding some of that Portuguese. So I think those two things are important. And then there's another thing. If you speak really good Spanish and you're not afraid of Portuguese and you're into sports, every freguesia also has a sports club.
Sporting club.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if they support both Benfica and Sporting, the two major football teams.
Our freguesia supports Sporting Club.
Okay, so it is just Sporting. Okay, so maybe we have another one someplace else that supports Benfica, but the one that's down the street from us supports Sporting, one of the major football teams, and it's like a cross between a bar and a community center. So
yeah, and
right?
they have TVs in there. They serve.
It's not like Rotary, but
drinks.
It's kind of like Rotary.
Yeah,
it's like Rotary with some alcohol and some sports.
Yeah,
sounds very efficient. Very efficient.
And they're in there and they're supporting the team, and
right?
Yeah, I wouldn't wear Benfica around.
No.
Because it's all about sporting.
Exactly. But look, a glass of wine will get you far.
Yeah. Right on. That sounds great. We can work with that. Something to get involved in when we get there.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, babe, if you had something you wanted to say, you could step in.
Go ahead.
Okay, so when we get there, what is the first thing we should do other than go down and have a coffee and a nata?
When you get here to live or to visit?
When we get here to live. We are getting there. We're coming there to live.
Okay. Did you happen to get your transportation card?
That's the first thing that I was going to say.
Your Navigante card?
No.
Get your Navigante card.
Okay, here we go.
Your Navigante card.
Especially are you coming to Lisbon? Are you coming to live in Lisbon?
We are coming to live in Lisbon initially. We believe that that's the best place to land for learning how the systems operate and the structures of the different entities we'll have to work with. But we're very much interested in moving maybe up coast north. We loved Porto.
Okay. Yeah, Porto's beautiful.
It is beautiful up
Porto's
there.
beautiful.
A little too small for me, but I'm sorry, sir. What'd you say?
Between Porto and Lisbon on the coast.
On the coast.
Okay. So on the Silver Coast.
Okay.
The reason I say Navigante is so you can get around.
Yeah.
Once you get your card, if you're 65 and older, once you get your residency card, it's free. But 65, it's €20 a month. Under 65 is €40 a month, and under 23, I believe,
It's
is
free.
free.
I think
That's
24
amazing.
and under is
Yeah,
free.
24 and under is free. So that way, because you can take the ferries across to Amada and Seychelles and different places. You can catch the trams, you can catch the buses, you can catch the metros.
Yeah,
So you get around.
those prices that we said are for the metro area. It's cheaper if you're going to stay in Lisbon proper. Don't do that. Get the metro area so you can go from Sintra to Sesimbra and every place in between on all forms of public
That's
transportation.
what we want.
So
Yeah.
you want to know where your tax dollars are going? I know the taxes here in Western Europe are expensive, but I also know that in Denver, where the taxes were low, I had to pay $186 a month for their little wonky bus system and light rail
Mhm.
that only got me downtown.
You know, when we went there in March for our first visit, our only visit, I was shocked because I ordered our train from Sacramento. I went online and got our train reservations and everything from Lisbon to Porto, and I just couldn't believe the price. I was just so amazed at how low the price was, and they gave me the senior discount. You know, because I'm a senior. Yeah, because
Right.
yeah. So
Even though you're not residents or citizens of Portugal, right?
Right. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And you might not have gotten the lowest price depending upon where you bought it because there's a lot of third parties that sell the tickets.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually went to the CP
We got it
online. I established an account and everything.
You went to the right place.
You went to the right, you got the cheapest price.
They gave us a discount for buying in advance.
Yeah.
They gave us a discount for our age.
That's
And
right.
It was like
Yeah.
like round trip $45.
It was $49 for us round trip. It was
Both of
for
you.
each one of
For
us.
each one. Okay. So that was expensive. And had you bought even earlier, yeah, I've gotten Lisbon to Porto for €29
See.
round trip.
round trip.
Okay.
Y'all take notes.
Okay. In fact, my next question or my next comment, and I hope your audience is okay with this, but when we get there, can we call you guys? Take you to gym.
If we're in town,
Yeah.
this is good. This goes for anyone. Just email us like 3 weeks or so in advance so we'll know our schedule at hello@ourblackutopia.com. And then it helps if you put in the subject line coming to Lisbon, want to meet with you or something like that so that we know it's just not a general email.
You know, having said that, I just want to make this statement and compliment you guys for being so open to people who are doing what you did, because a lot of YouTubers will not open themselves up to that kind of a hand, that warm welcome is what I call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so anyway,
I understand it's usually single women who are.
Now I understand safety and concern.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it helps.
Yeah. Yeah. It does.
But you know, I just feel, you know, we can break bread, and you know, you trust God and you just keep it moving, and because 9 times out of 10 the folks are going to be real folks.
Yeah.
Who you want in your life.
I love meeting new people and hanging out and everything like that.
I know.
Getting you into our groups that
Yeah.
you know, the people we hang out with, and it's like you make friends forever.
That's right.
Really.
Yeah.
That's
For
right.
real.
Thank you for that. We're gonna count on it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. I want to know, what are your names? Because I just see she and
Beverly. Yeah, it's Beverly, and this is Anthony.
Anthony.
Beverly and Anthony. Okay.
Yeah.
If you
So
remember,
that's for our audience because we did have a one-on-one call with them.
we did. Remember, I had the very detailed timeline.
Yeah.
I tell everybody about that Excel spreadsheet with the
Excel
color coding and all of that. I'm like, look, this homeboy. Wait, did you say you're an engineer? Was it?
Yeah.
That's right.
Engineer.
See, I
Now
remember.
retired.
He just retired yesterday, and he just
Wow,
turned 7.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Before we go, I have 2 more things. One, Rick, did you keep your Medicare when you moved to Portugal?
I did. I do have my Medicare because I wanted to make sure that everything here was settled and taken
Yeah.
care of, which I do have
First.
insurance and everything here. But I kept my Medicare in case, going back to the state or
Yes.
whatever, and having that coverage. Medicare is not that easy to get rid of.
That's what
Part B.
Yeah.
A is free.
Yeah.
B, because they penalize the heck out of you.
Mhm.
If you can hold on to it, I would say hold on to it as long as you need to or as long as you can, and then get rid of it. Because once you get rid of it, they start penalizing the heck out of you if you try to get back on.
That's what we knew, and that's what our plans were, to keep it. And I work for the state of California, so they do a nice little contribution for me, so it's not
Okay.
very expensive.
So yeah, I still do have Medicare Part B.
And
Okay.
it's unfortunately probably less expensive than buying travel health insurance
Yeah.
for when we go back to the
Yeah.
States.
Yeah.
And so I did not plan that we would have to go back this fast, but we're going back in another 15 days or so.
Yeah, and you do. And if I need to go to the hospital or if I need to go to a doctor, I'm covered. I'm covered under Aetna. That's the one I chose. So,
Yeah.
I can relax being in the United States.
And I kept Obamacare.
Okay, right on. So
Yeah.
I have Kaiser, so I'm keeping both of them because it's all silver advantage and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
As an engineer, I helped implement Obamacare in California.
He did.
Just
Well,
saying.
thank you.
Saying, you're welcome.
So you did the software, the all of that.
I did the oversight of the people who did the software, make sure they did it right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't have any problems in Colorado either. I don't know about that federal system. I don't know what they were doing when there were too many, but in Colorado, we were good to go.
Right on. So last question that I wanted to get out there was, do you guys know anyone who's had any issues getting their bank accounts established through the immigration process?
No.
Okay. It's
We've
just
only heard
us.
those rumors.
You know someone now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Border's a very wonderful company. We love working with them. But for some reason, our application process got to the compliance office.
And it's taken them
stuck.
months.
It's been 2 months now.
So if you're having additional issues, send us an email and
Yeah.
we will contact Kathleen at Border and see what we can do to nudge. All right.
Yeah.
Isn't she the founder? Her and her husband?
Her and her husband, yeah.
I will send you an email.
They're
Okay.
friends.
That.
They're friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Look, if our name is on the line because we suggest them, then we need to put a
We
nudge
can
in.
nudge.
All right.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Happy New
Absolutely.
Year.
To
Happy
you
New
too.
Year.
All
To you
right.
too.
We'll see you. Good luck with LA and your mom and all that.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
I need it, girl. I need it.
And we'll see you in March, right?
You will see us in March. Our flight leaves San Francisco March 2nd, 4
Okay.
o'clock.
Perfect. We'll be
Rick,
here.
I think I'll get along really good with you. Really
Oh
well.
man, we'll have a blast, man. You ain't seen nothing yet.
There's a men's group and
We got a
everything.
men's group that you will love.
All
Because
right.
everybody will everybody treats you like they've known you, like you grew up together.
Yeah. As a matter of
For
fact,
real. That's how it is.
there's only been a couple of Black expats that I've met here that I'm like, okay, so we probably wouldn't have been friends in the United States. 99.9% of the folks, where were you? Where were you?
Wow.
Right?
Nice.
It's all love, whether they're 35 or 65 or 75. It's just like minds and cool people. Seriously. Yeah.
For real.
All right.
Yeah. You'll meet the brothers. It'll be like, oh man, I've known you for a long time. For real.
Okay.
For real.
Sounds good.
Young and my age.
Or our age.
My age. I just say my age. Yeah.
Thank you
All right,
guys so much for doing this. It's been a joy.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you soon.
Okay.
All right, let's see who is in the audience, and then we're going to get to LaDon, Ronald, and then Sam. All right. Feliz Ano Novo. Happy New Year. Look, I hope I said that right.
You
If
did.
any of our Portuguese folks Did I say it right?
No,
No.
that's how they say.
Hey,
Probably a
Eileen.
move.
Hey, Bobby. Good to see
Hey,
you.
Bobby.
Anya is in the house. Alexandria is in the house. Excited to see our Black Utopia get interviewed. Look, like the stars they are.
We just us. You know that.
We
you
just
know that, Alexandria. We
Right.
just us.
Uses.
Us is just-
Right? Deborah is in the house.
Up and
Happy
down.
New Year. We are going to go out. Y'all have, if you're not following us on Instagram, why not? So it's at Our Black Utopia. We're going to go live. We're going to show you what's happening on New Year's Eve here in Lisbon. But first, we got to see what y'all have to say, right,
Hey,
Greta? Greta, I sent you an email. So check your email because some folks said that they couldn't make it and you were the next in line. So I sent you a link. Check your email. V is in the house. Hey, y'all, let's wrap up this year, right? Hit the like button as you come in. Thank you. So we have almost 200 people watching. So hopefully we've got nearly that much. Heather, I had to start the year off correctly by catching you guys live. Happy New Year. Hey, Heather, what you doing? Are you going out tonight? What you doing?
She's going out tonight. She's going to the masquerade ball.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I did too.
Yeah. It's hard. Like on Christmas and Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, there was stuff going on, but we had to come talk to y'all. That's what we had to do. Right, Meriton? Absolutely. Eleanor is in the house and we've got Maria. Happy New Year to you. Hey, T and Mel.
Hey, T and Mel.
We miss you guys.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah, we miss you guys. So hopefully you're going to come into town tomorrow. Maybe? Hey, Holly. Good to see you. Lisa. We were supposed to come down there this week. So, yeah, Lisa's in Cascais. Brought us lots of goodies. And I'm sorry that we haven't come down there. I had mama drama, y'all. I had mama drama and had to deal with that.
She's been dealing with her mother a lot. So.
Hey, Artwork Insight. And Joanne is in the house. Happy New Year. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Vicky is in the house. The boss lady.
Boss lady.
Question. Boss lady's got a question. I don't know who the boss lady is. This seems like a new name. Welcome to Our Black Utopia. Welcome to the family. We love that you're here. What question do you have? Alice Rising is in the house. The ABX girl is in the house. Here's another new name. Demijan. I don't know. But Happy New Year to you too. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Greta, we love you.
How you feeling, darling? I want you to get better.
Right? I know. Tanya's in the house and Pisces. Good to see you in the chat again. RJ,
Happy New Year.
We got Tracy and Monica is in the house.
Hugo.
Oh, that was Hugo. I'm sorry, Hugo. Feliz Ano Novo para todos. For everyone, to everyone. That's what that means. So Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you, Hugo. Please correct my pronunciation. I'm learning. And then we've got Tracy and Monica. We've got Vanessa and Valerie. I was about to say Valerina because that's another subscriber. Valerie Blocker, which sounds like a new name. So welcome, welcome. Amarlia. Amarlia. I don't want to mess up your name, baby.
You don't want to. You might have already done it.
Yeah, I know. Amalia. But I'm not doing it on purpose.
Armalia.
Ms. Van Buren. Like, if you can't get the stuff right, just Ms. Van Buren.
If you know.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Trey.
Hey,
Amani, when y'all coming back?
Yeah.
When y'all coming back? Okay, so y'all on Facebook. Hi. Hello. Say hello in the description below. I mean, in the chat below. And also hit that thumbs up on Facebook. Shamanda Thornton Swain. Good to see you. Hey, Krishan. All right,
y'all. Hey,
y'all.
Krishan.
These are the last days. So Krishan, every time she comes in, she reminds me, these are the last days. If you want the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit replays at the current price, I don't know if we're changing it. But anyway, we doing a special right now. as well as for the meetup, especially for the meetup, because we're going to get 2024 prices. And then we're going to have to increase it for all of those to make up, so we can make sure that we're not losing
Krishan
money
going to
on
the
it.
balls tonight,
So,
or
Krishan's out in them streets.
I know she's out.
She's out in them
all the
streets
time.
because she took pictures with the president, right?
That's right. She run the joint.
Right? She came here a year after us.
She got connection.
Exactly.
That's what I love about her. She got connections.
Right.
Come on, sister girl.
Right. Cassandra's in the house. Live Spirit. We've got Carmen, Word Up Psychotherapy.
Hey.
I'm Barnes 3, I think. Anya is in the house. Hey, Maya. All right. Killer Queen, Pinky, Vicky. All right, y'all. We're going to get back to, we love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging with us on New Year's Eve. We know you've got plans, but we want to make sure that we close out the year right and have y'all grill us. So we're going to bring up LaDon.
Hey, LaDon.
Don't you look beautiful? How are you?
You
going out tonight, girl? Like you got makeup, you got nice outfit on. What time is it? Where you at? Uh-oh, it sounds like you're muted.
Okay, how's that? Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Go.
All right,
Yes, we can.
awesome. I am in Central Time right now, so it's about 3:11, and my going out. Well, this is my going out. And when it gets too close to midnight, I'm like, no, let's just go home. But I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Make our life easier.
Yes. So my question is, when you've started this journey, you look at, I've heard your story about the finances, and then you moved to Lisbon. What advice would you give for someone that is about to take that step on having the mindset to create a new life and not fall back into the before? So sometimes when I find I've been striving so much for a goal of, getting the finances together or finding the place you want to move, and you have all these big goals and big things and it's heavy. And then once you're there, it's like, oh, well, I'm here. So that's sort of been my story. So listening to your story, I can relate so much. And thank you so much for the content. I know I've said this before, but it's so precise and so personable. It has meant the world to me, just in getting a fresh perspective. So for someone like ourselves that clearly had a very successful career, a lot of pressure, and like you were saying, Halisi, sort of on, right?
Mm.
When you're in a new season of your life, I guess this is my question, when you're in a new season of life where you don't have to be on, but now you can enjoy life intentionally, and you've worked through like creating your finances, and even if you're not fully there, my question is, because that's my journey now, after 10 years of this sort of planning, it's all coming to pass. And yes, and my thought is, when I'm in the life that I've been desiring, what should I keep in my mindset to then, life's not over, but now you're experiencing life. But now that all the big checklist is done, what should you do just to enjoy and build your new life? I hope that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I think we always keep in mind our why, to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you ask that question, to yourself, why am I doing all this? What's my purpose? What do I want? So your why and your what, and that should be your motivating force to keep you moving forward. Because we can work until we drop, but
we know how to do that.
We know how to do that, and it's like, why am I doing this? Why am I in this?
Why am I across the continent?
Yeah, why am I in a totally different country facing different things that I probably wouldn't have to face in the United States, facing language barriers and everything else. Because why? Because I want to learn somebody else's culture. I want to learn a different language. I want to experience something that wasn't an everyday thing that I saw all the time, every day when I woke up in the United States or anything like that. And I want to see my wife happy and being able to do the things that she wants to do and enjoying her life. So to me, why is always the most important thing that I always come back to. And it kind of just brings me down to earth.
Yeah. I think that the adventure of the thing
Mhm.
is part of the why, right? Because life is not about getting the thing. Life is about the journey to the thing.
Mm.
And in that journey, we experience who we really are. Right. And so one of the things that I've had to do as one of those very kind of what folks call A-type personalities is to sit still and accept the fact, and Stephanie Perry, one of my mentors, is brilliant for saying this, accept the fact that I may not know who I really am because I've never had the luxury of not having pressure and obligations.
Mm.
And so now that we've done the thing, like everything for the past 3 years before we moved, it was all about this. And then we're here. And then in the initial stage for us, we still have property in the United States. We didn't, because of my parents' situation, we didn't empty houses like some people have done. So we still have strong ties to the United States. So that kind of kept us in limbo. But at the end of the day, regardless, because we could just sell them houses, like, look, get the money and run. Hello. Right?
Yeah.
But the income notwithstanding, at the end of the day, what is it really that I wanted? Sometimes we think the thing that we want is based upon things that we have decided consciously we are no longer important, but we're still going after that goal.
Yeah.
Right. And so, so I'm gonna full transparency. Part of the move to Portugal, why Portugal and not Mexico? Because Portugal is more prestigious. You've heard that, right? Mexico, you moving to Mexico? Why you gonna move to Mexico? Them folks they trying to come here, right? And so before I even had an opportunity to really evaluate that piece, we had already made the decision on Portugal. Now, had I had it to do over again, I think I still would have chosen Portugal. Because now that I'm here, I understand the differences beyond the bull crap, right? Like that America puts in your head. So, and so now that we're here, I think, for the past 7 months, it's been a time of listening.
So good.
Yeah.
What's next? Because the idea of beaches and Mai Tais and just like, chilling and okay, I'm gonna travel here and then I'm gonna travel there and I'm gonna travel here and, here, cathedral, museum. I mean, after a while, they all start blending together, don't they? So what is the thing that's going to bring you joy? And for me, I think so far I figured out creating things brings me joy. But I'm not sure that I know everything yet. I'm not sure that I've had the luxury to be quiet enough yet. Right? And so one of the things that I would suggest, like we started our YouTube channel before we even moved, right? Some of you who've been following us for a long time know that. There was never a break. We were always like, I'm an entrepreneur by birth in spirit. So this has been like, this is what we doing. This was part of our dream. And I don't know, I like to do over again. I don't think I would have waited. I think we needed that to drive some things. But with that comes the lack of luxury of just being quiet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you have that luxury, LaDon, to just be quiet for like 9 months, because 3 months is still all new.
Yeah.
6 months, you start getting your sea legs. 9 months, you're like, all right, so I'm not looking up anymore. I'm not taking pictures of the architecture anymore. Right. And now you can say, okay, so what is it? What is it? What's that thing that I want to do?
That's so good. This is exactly so spot on. I tell you, when you, and I'm not trying to blow smoke or just give you props, but just your words are answering questions that I had never asked out loud, but I knew they were part of my spirit. And one of the things when I decided, I said, okay, here's the path. And I've been intentionally envisioning what is it going to look like with me there? Like the regular life, that was
Right.
one of the things. And then also looking at it from a financial perspective, looking at paying off debt or building this money. And I asked myself the other day, okay, I said, okay, that was the fiscal target. Why? Do we really need all that? Now, I'm like you, I'm an entrepreneur. Just it's like in my DNA. I'll probably be 90 and like, doing something or having something do something for me. But it's now getting me to think differently about why spend that? Why need that asset? And I thought, I think I need time whenever I settle, probably a year just to, and the reason I asked the question is, I said, I don't have another plan after this step. I'm just going to sit and listen to what the divine guides me and actually sit and actually listen. Is that okay? Am I missing something? And that was
As Americans, that is not okay, right?
right.
Sit still. What are you talking about? There's money to be made.
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
That's hard. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
No, that was perfect. That was my question. Thank you. You blessed
All
me
right.
so much with that. Yeah, that was it. I popped in your inbox, but I didn't so I'm in there when you get a chance. But hoping
Okay.
to be able to break some bread if you're available. If not, this has been amazing for me. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. If I think I did see that. I don't know if I responded, but I will. And if I don't in the next 24 hours, send me another email.
okay, we'll do.
Because life shows up and then it's down there, and that's for everybody. I try to answer every single email, but I can't say that I catch every single one.
No, I definitely will. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate
All
you.
right. Have a good one. All right. We're going to bring Ronald and Vivian to the stage, then Sam, then Antoine. We got a single man. Hey. All right. All right. Hey, Ronald and Vivian. How are you?
Hi, Elisa and Rick. We're doing great.
Good. You look good.
Yeah.
Us to do this, we're so excited.
What you got for us?
Happy New Year. Happy New
Thank you.
Year.
Happy New Year to you.
To you too.
Thank you. Well, we have Beverly pretty much covered everything we wanted to ask. But we also wanted to know, since we're new here, we are here. Tomorrow will be our month anniversary in Lisbon. Thank you, Halisi and Rick, for helping make this journey possible. We had gotten our residencies in Mexico back in November of last year. We came in April to visit our daughter in Spain. And then we stopped we stopped here first for a week in Lisbon, loved it. When we got back home to the States, we said maybe Lisbon would work for us. So we started the process of looking into how to get here, and it's been a month and we're loving it, and we're so happy that we made this decision.
Right.
And our question to you is, now that we're here and you guys have been here for 2 years, what would you do, or what would you tell us that we could do being new? What would you have done differently when you first got here? Or what would you have added to what you did when you first got here?
I'm going to assume you all are already taking Portuguese lessons.
No, we are not.
So,
But I mean,
all
we're
right.
taking the Duolingo, but we know it's not the
Yeah,
European.
don't do Duolingo.
So
Right.
is Duolingo Brazilian?
That's Brazilian.
Don't do Brazilian.
Yeah.
Don't do Brazilian. The Brazilians here will tell you it's better Portuguese. We love you, our Brazilian friends. And for Americans, it is in that it follows closely to the cadence of Spanish. However, there are some, it's not just the pronunciation. There are words that have totally different meanings. And we have Brazilian friends who had to learn how to understand European Portuguese.
Okay.
So for those of you who are in the audience, we are taking lessons through Preply. The information is in the description below. You get a 70% discount off your first language. You can find native speakers, Black native speakers, probably, at least for Spanish, for Portuguese, and probably French. Now, some of these Asian languages, I don't know if you can find a Black person, but you can find someone native via Preply. So that's like, I would suggest we did not do that when we first landed. And that's actually from our scouting trip. Had I had to do over again, before our scouting trip, we would have started taking language lessons.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What else?
Are you in any of the groups? Have you signed up for any of the groups? Black in Portugal. What's the other one?
And are you in the ancillary WhatsApp groups?
We're in the WhatsApp group with Black in Portugal.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the Lisbon Melanin Collective?
No.
Okay. Send us an email.
All right.
There's a 50. So y'all, when you move to your country, if there is a huge or large expat or Black expat community, there's probably a WhatsApp group. So when we were in Girona, there was a WhatsApp group.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that we did the house sit for let us know about the WhatsApp group. So there's there's 250 plus WhatsApp groups. There's a Black women's only WhatsApp group.
There's Black men's only.
And there's a Black men's WhatsApp group.
Okay.
All right. So we want to get you into those groups. So the one thing that we didn't know about that we found out from Alex, there's a few things that I want to say, but the first thing is download all of the transportation applications.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you do that? Because we were getting lost. Y'all.
Yeah.
We have
City planner.
Rossini. Yeah, city planner Rossini recommended we have that one.
Definitely. Great app to have.
Yes.
Metro
LX,
CP.
Yes.
CPT, TTSL. What else? Because look, and then they let you know when they go on strike. So when we first got here, transportation, Karis is the only.
Karis.
Is
Get
the other
Karis
one.
if you don't have it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Ooh, look at it.
Wow. Okay.
Karis will give you all the bus schedules and stuff like that.
Yeah, and of course Bolt instead of Uber, right?
Mhm.
So we got TTSL, Bolt, Metro LX, Karis, CP, and which one am I missing? Maybe that's it.
Okay.
Maybe that's it. So Karis should also cover the trolleys. TTSL is for the ferries. Nobody told us they'd be having strikes and stuff, and we ain't know. we ain't know.
Catch the ferry. It ain't no ferry running.
Right, and then you're stuck with a €30 Uber bill because you're trying to get across, or whatever, right?
Well, so far we've been walking around.
Okay.
That's what we've been doing mostly so far.
That's what I was going to say next is because we do what we call walkabouts.
Yeah, that was my last suggestion.
So, and I mean, we'll get to walking. So we walked from our house all the way to Park de Nassauish. Did I say that like that?
No.
I didn't.
Park dash Nassauish.
Okay, I said Nassauish, right?
You did.
Okay.
No,
I didn't
he
call
was,
it,
he
I
was
didn't
gonna
call
call
it
it nachos. That's what he used to say.
But I even walked from where we live to Belém the other day.
Yeah,
Wow.
basically from Graça to
From
Belém.
Graça to Belém.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we and the reason why this is important, it two things. One, if you're in public transportation in an Uber or something like that, you cannot see exactly what's in your neighborhood. The other thing is, and for all of you who are thinking about Portugal as well, as I said before, the cottage industry is alive and well. You're going to find your best deals at the neighborhood stores and run on Vivian. In the United States, we look at these stores and say, okay, that's a junk store.
But it's
Mhm.
They don't have the same sense of marketing and stuff. This is not a disparaging remark. It's just a fact, right? So the appearance of the window display, et cetera, that, in America, small shops have to compete with the global stores, right? And so it's got to be on point. Here, hours are suggestion, right? And so like the pots that I want to buy, we looked online, they were about 30 to 70% more than I found them in my local store.
Okay.
Wow. Mhm.
Okay.
So when you
That's
walk
good.
your neighborhood, you can go into those little dark stores that are like, okay, go in
Right.
and see what they have. That's where you will find all of the things that you need at a
a
discount,
good cost, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yes.
Okay, I have some questions. You guys, when you went to your self-appointment, were they taking your expenditure from your checking account, from your bank account, or whether or not you was actually paying for your utilities or rent from your bank account?
Mm-mm.
We haven't heard of that. I mean, they took copies of the bank. They looked at the balance. That's what they wanted to see. You got some money. And for
So
him, they only took
They didn't look at hardly anything for me. They looked at our lease,
to get proof of address
proof of address for my lease, and they looked at
and a copy of the
a
passport.
copy of my passport. That was it.
Wow.
So it depends on who you go to because they wanted everything from her.
Same day, same office.
It just
Wow.
depends.
I had to give blood. I had to sign over my firstborn child.
Yeah, it's just how it is.
Yes. Okay. We'll take more than what we think we'll need.
Right. Did you have your NIF before you came, or you got the NIF while you was here?
We got our NIF when we came on our scouting trip.
No,
We didn't. Because we had that one company do our NIF.
Yeah, we had our NIF
So we had it before we came.
way before we came. When we came for our scouting trip, we opened the bank account.
That's right. We did.
But we already had our NIF. Yeah.
Did you have to change your address from the United States to your Portuguese address?
You do that after you get your
After-
green card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When you get your green card, and then they want you.
You
to
are
sign
not
up
a
for your
tax resident
resident
until
NHR or
you get
something.
your green card.
Right.
Okay.
Don't rush things now.
And the other question I have is listen to you conversation about transferring funds. Some companies charge you a lot of money to transfer funds. Did you find Wise to be more acceptable than just using Swap?
So I never had a Wise banking account. And when I was with Wise, it was either before they had that service or before I knew about that service. So when I went to transfer using Wise, it was tons more than Schwab. so I would check. You want a fixed fee as opposed to a variable depending upon how much you move, right? Like PayPal, is 3% of whatever, as opposed to just a fixed fee. Every time you do a transaction, it's going to be 10 cents or whatever, right? No.
Right.
So Wise at the time, and I know someone who has banking with Wise, and they transferred money at no cost. But that was American to American. Now,
Okay.
American to international, I would double check. I still use Schwab because it's a fixed fee, no matter how much I charge, no matter how much I move.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And as far as investment is concerned, you guys talk about index funds and also ETFs. Okay. People who have 401s and they want to change over to one of those, is there I know one of you have Vanguard and the other one use Charles Schwab for your ETFs or your index funds. How have your experience been with those?
So we don't have
a Vanguard account.
Vanguard. We have Fidelity and Charles Schwab.
Okay.
Yeah, and the reason is because Fidelity and Schwab have banking, Vanguard doesn't. So that's one thing. But you're talking about rolling over a 401k into to a brokerage account, right?
Right.
So in general, there's a few things. When you roll over a 401k, if you plan to still if you haven't started taking money out of it yet, then you've got to consider those tax ramifications, right?
Right.
You cannot necessarily put money into it anymore, even
Right.
as an IRA, because you're not working.
Right.
But you can allocate it. And so you can allocate it to anything that those brokerage firms have available. You can allocate 100% of it to Apple.
Okay.
I wouldn't suggest that, although
No.
Apple has done us really, really well. But I wouldn't suggest that. Or to one index fund over another, or an ETF, or a series, some ETFs, some index funds, etc. So yeah, both we've rolled over to both of those different brokerage firms, and you have access to everything that anybody else would have access to.
Okay. What else do we have?
That was it.
Uh,
Either we asked the question or it was answered prior to us coming on. But
Yay. We like that. All right.
we want to thank you again for everything. We really enjoy following you on YouTube, and it's taught us a lot to make this dream possible for us, and we're so happy to be here. And we are waiting to break bread with you. I've sent 2 emails.
Have you sent 2 emails? Okay. If you don't hear from me by Tuesday, because we going out tomorrow and tonight, but send me another one, Vivian. I'm so sorry but maybe I have.
That's okay. I know you're busy.
Not that doggone busy. It's just some stuff goes to junk mail, and then some stuff I just miss. So I'm be honest with y'all. I try. I really do. But so yeah, definitely send us an email. We'd love to get together with you. We really would.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
We got to get together.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Also join this dance club.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
send us an
Gotta
email
get you
about
hooked
that
up.
as well, so we
Yeah,
can get
gotta
you
get
into
you
those
hooked up
groups.
with us.
All
Okay.
right, awesome. Y'all
All
take
right.
care.
Take care now. All
Okay.
right. Thank you. All right. We got Sam is in the house.
Your mic's.
So you're
There you
muted.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Gotcha.
We can.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys? Hey, Alicia. Hey, Ray.
Good.
Hi,
So
everyone.
check out her YouTube channel. She interviewed me about 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Gosh, time passes so quickly,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Right? So hopefully that was a good episode.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, good.
And we got to talk about my 2 favorite subjects, money and moving abroad. So
All right.
There we go. Right. What else is there?
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me. I have a couple of questions for you. So I'll start with the first one. So the main reasons usually that people, when they move abroad, they have to leave is either money or culture culture shock. So on the shock aspect, so I'm just curious to know if you moving to Portugal, what was your biggest culture shock? Was there any way to prepare for it, and how you managed to actually deal with it, just to be able to live there, essentially?
You know, I'm going to definitely answer you specifically, but I have to say, when you hear the word culture shock, I think of something that throws you off balance and makes you so uncomfortable that you're considering moving back to the United States or to your home country. And so I cannot say that I've actually experienced that because I never felt at home in the United States. I was never a full citizen. My rights had to be re-voted in every 25 years, right? And so if you've already been treated as less than, then when you go to someplace else, and as long as they're not like trying to kill you, you're like, oh, okay, it's good, right? And I will put a pin in that and say, in general, I have not experienced culture shock, but I have experienced some things like, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to get used to this.
Oh yeah.
So would you say, have you experienced culture shock, or just like okay, this is something I'm gonna have to get used
Not
to?
culture shock, but something that you have to get used to. You got to get used to their ways of doing different things.
Yeah, and he's going to talk about medical. I think privileged people have culture shock. I think oppressed people have relief. But I am a spoiled American. So, are you going to talk about the medical?
Well, I can hit on it. It's just you get used to things in the United States going a certain way, going to your doctor's office, and I've said this before. Uh, where the doctor's office, doctor gives you a prescription to get tests done about something, and you go to the hospital, you have the tests run, and then you wait for your doctor to reach back to you. Well, that's not a thing here. The thing is, you have to make another appointment with that doctor so she can go over the different things that are happening, or what the results of the tests were, because they don't have access to your medical records unless you give them permission by making another appointment with them. And I didn't realize that, because I'm sitting
and
here
no
waiting.
one tells you.
Yeah, and they don't tell you that. They're not good at telling you that at all. So
or they just assume you know.
I think even Michael from Serenity says, yeah, they don't. No, Sophia told me. She said, yeah, no, they don't tell you that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you don't know.
And you don't know what you don't know.
And you're wondering, it's like, well, wait a minute. I had this test done. I'm waiting for the doctor to get back to me. And it's like, yeah, she ain't going to get back to you, because she can't look at your records. She can't look at the results of the test that she made the order for.
Yeah. I think the one thing that I had to get used to is the inconvenience of not having huge, soul crushing global corporations like Target. And I say it that way because those kind of companies stopped a lot of mom and pops from existing.
Yes.
But on the other hand, you get used to the convenience of a one-stop shop. And so, for instance, when we, stock up in the kitchen, it's going to be 2, 3, 4 stores that I have to go to. And so I've had to get used to that. I've had to get used to things not being on the shelf for months at a time. Now, this is not just a post-pandemic thing, because like in the United States, I think that's a post-pandemic thing. Apparently, it's always been like this, because we have friends who are Americans who lived here before the pandemic, and like things disappear from the shelves of chain grocery stores for like 3 and 4 and 5 months at a time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, like, where's my stuff? Where's my tea? Where's my this? Where's my that? And then it's just, oh, maybe they're not making anymore. Oh no, yeah, they are. It's just not here yet. I don't know. So having to go to a lot of different stores to supply our house and then not having a car to drive around. So now I'm carrying stuff on the train, on the, and up these hills and all of that. Took some getting used to.
And another thing you will learn here is patience, because it's like I always say, hurry up and wait, but it's take a number and wait.
Yeah, but at least you get to take a number and it's not subjective.
True.
Yeah.
True. But still.
Right? Like it's because it's like, wait, she knew I was here. And home chick is like, and
well,
that's the
okay.
case.
When we went to had brunch yesterday at the little what's it called?
I don't know.
Like
Yeah.
I had the hamburger, and I went to go get a beer.
That's
and
right.
you're like, dang, where'd you go get the beer? Why did it take you so long? And I said, inefficiencies. Because it was like they had one guy that was in a line, and he was trying to deal with everybody's order and stuff, but there were the two other people that were doing minute things.
Like filling the ice bin?
Just goofy things. To me, it's like, okay, he has a long line. If you guys came and helped him, that line would disappear very, very fast. But it's like they didn't even consider helping.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. But, then the American thing hits you.
Right. Like, yeah, because that would just never fly. Yeah. In restaurants, the idea that, like, I used to wait tables, and the rule was every time you walk across the floor, you're doing something.
Yeah.
So as you come and go, you're looking around to make sure, do you have what you need? And then you bring back everything everybody needs, the salt, the extra water, the extra napkin, and all of that. No, they go one, and then that one, and then that one, and then that. And so you really do have to be patient.
Yeah.
Because it's not burn and turn. Make that money, make that money,
it's
make
not.
that money. No, they're not trying to do that. They're trying to chill.
That's good to know. So patience is definitely a virtue to have.
Yes.
So I had another question for you, more money related, and that's really because I haven't been able to figure it out, even after watching so many videos of you guys. What is your money personality? Like Alicia, what is your money personality? And Rick, what is your money personality? And if it's different, how did you guys work it out to be on the same page when it comes to getting your finances together, especially when it comes to when it came to moving abroad? Yeah. And so
I'm a saver. He's a spender.
okay. Okay.
But
yes,
I'm a spender, but I'm not going to spend on something at a certain dollar amount without having a conversation. Our thing was not to spend anything $100 and above. We have to talk. If I was getting an allowance or something like that, I could use my allowance to get different things. But if I was coming out of our house fund, then it was, we need to have a discussion about it. I need to spend $101 on something. We have a discussion about it.
the problem is he never told me no. So when I knew that I probably shouldn't be spending, he's like, baby, if you want it, get it. You work hard, get it. So I love him for that, but that was not what I needed to hear. What I needed to hear is, now, honey, where's our safe, right? Like, so where I always made sure that we were never, ever, ever even close to $400 away, like the American thing, right? $400 away from an emergency, from catastrophe. No matter who lost what job, we always had a minimum of 3 months.
Right.
So, but that ain't enough to retire on. That's just like not being stupid. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't say it that way, because if you don't have 3 months, and sometimes it's hard to get there, I don't mean to castigate seriously. But so we were never at that point.
And I would
But we
always,
were too old for that nonsense.
yeah. And I would always look for, even though if I, did want to spend some money, I would look for the best deal that I could. It made me stop along the way and say, okay, wait,
Save so much money because they
How
were
can-
on sale.
how can I get this? Where can I find it? Let me investigate it, see which store has it even cheaper. And then half the time, by the time I found it cheaper, I didn't want it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. But I have to say, I think mine was more, it was not based upon wisdom. It was based upon fear. So I've always been very conscious of the fact that I didn't have anybody that I could depend on if the fit hit the sham. So I always had to make sure that if some catastrophe happened, that I had something to make sure that I could pay for it, because my parents did not put themselves, as much money as they made throughout their lifetime, did not put themselves in the financial position to be that safety net.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
That's all you got for us? That was easy.
Yeah.
That was easy.
No, I should have brought my back.
No, because I know there are many people waiting too. I want to give other people the chance to ask their
Thank you,
questions without
Sam.
making
Thanks,
it too long. But
Sam.
thank you so much for everything that you do. I know a lot of people have said it
Absolutely.
already, but I love your channel, and definitely looking forward to 2024 and whatever it has.
Absolutely. There was one part we didn't answer, and that was, how did we get on the same page?
Oh, yeah.
And I think this is really, really, really important, especially for couples, obviously. And it's something to think about if you plan to be a couple at some point ever in the future, right? Is to make sure that you're talking about things before it's an issue.
Mm.
And, not from a standpoint of, well, you spend too much and you don't never say no, and like I could have come like that. But instead, the tack that I took, because this is not our first marriage, and I knew that money was the key to a lot of folks breaking up, and I never wanted that to be a thing with us. So instead, I just said nothing and then tried to figure out how the finances were going to work. But when we finally really, really got on the same page, it was suggestions, not dictates. And then I backed that up with downloading it, which you don't have to do this. There are apps to do this, but my old behind didn't know about that. So I downloaded everything into the Excel spreadsheet and sorted it all out to see where our money was going to. And I knew that I didn't marry an idiot. So once he saw the facts, he'd be on board for what I thought the way we should go, And so that's the other thing. If you know that the person that you are with is, all they need is the information, then give them the information instead of assuming that they should know it and then being accusatory.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for the advice. I'll keep that in mind when I find my rake.
Well, I like that.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone.
Absolutely. To you
Thank
too.
you. Happy New Year.
All right, sweetie. See you soon. Bye. And we bring in the men in the house now. We bring in the men in the house now. I have no idea what people are saying in the comments. Like, I haven't even been looking. I know that we still have over 200 folks watching, and y'all are in the comments. We love you. Thank you. If you want to comment, no questions, but if you want to comment, an amen or something like that, put on the screen, put a Q in front of it. I'm going to run that banner. Because I'm not sure that we're actually going to have time for questions, but we love your banter. And if you think you've got something clever to say and you want it up on screen, go ahead and put that Q in front of it, and then we'll put it on screen. Hey, Antoine.
Hello, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
We can. How are you?
Excellent. I am great, and I am so happy to join you guys today. I love your program, and I've got to say that one of the things that I was just really noticing and feel very impressed with is that when you guys talk to people, it feels like you are right here right across the table from me, and we're having like a real
Conversation.
conversation. Yeah, I'm like, wow, just so down home, and just it's
Thank
makes
you.
people
Yeah,
feel
makes
very
it
comfortable.
personal.
It's really amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we're just us,
Yeah.
fallible us. And so, I don't know. I don't know, because he was uncomfortable at first. You were, right?
Well,
But
a little bit.
everyone that we've had on interviewing have just been so incredible
Oh, yeah. They've been
that,
amazing.
they have become friends. And so maybe that's what's coming through,
Very nice.
right?
Yeah. Well, I guess we're all blessed, huh? Us to have
Definitely.
you to have good,
Absolutely. Absolutely. How did you find us, Antoine?
I think you guys came through in a cycle on YouTube. I've actually I got connected with you before you got to Portugal. You were deciding Mexico, Portugal.
You're an OG.
Wow. You're an
I've
OG.
known you for a while.
We need, see, this is why we need the sound effect.
I know.
Because I mean, back
That's
in
the
those
sound effects
days,
right there.
we had like what, 1,500 subscribers.
Yeah.
So you are really an OG. See, I got tears in my eyes.
Thank
All
you
right.
for being there.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw us go through it. You really, really did. So, all right. What you got for us tonight? Or
Well, I
today?
wonder whether I could actually start off, because you guys are so reflective. If I could ask you kind of a more reflective question about your experience before I ask you sort of advice, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So I want to begin with just a short story about my experience when I went to Portugal last year.
Okay.
Which was, I was walking down the street of Lisbon, and I was walking behind these two Portuguese women, and I was sitting there in my mind wondering, when are they going to notice this black man is walking behind them and start paying attention? And they were just walking around blithely, not paying attention to me, and I kept waiting for them to like keep looking back, or waiting for them to like move over, or waiting for them to. So what I noticed was like, oh, that's my expectation. I'm expecting them seeing this black man to suddenly change their behavior, clutch their purse, but whatever. That's my training. That's not their training. That's my training. So that was my experience that when I went to Portugal. I got a chance to see something that was operating inside of me that I wouldn't have been so aware of had I not been in a totally different context. And so my question is, now that you've been there for a while, what you have noticed that you have had to unlearn, or had to, rethink or rewire or let go of, that you didn't even know that you had that inside of you. But now that you've been there in a different context, you're like, oh, I don't need that anymore.
Yeah. Well, like we were saying to Sam, there's different how they do things here differently than when in the United States. Going into a store, and the first time we walked into a grocery store, and we had just left one other grocery store, and I had a grocery bag in my hand with stuff in it. And I'll just stand out here until you go in, do what you want to do, and you come back out. Because my thoughts were, if I walk in the store, they're going to want to know what I got in the bag and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to feel nervous walking around, even if they don't say nothing, because somebody's got to be watching me, because, of course, they're going to think I'm stealing something. And Halisi brought to my attention, she said, baby, these people walk from store to store with bags in their hand. Most of them don't have cars, so they have to walk with their little carts and their bags in their hands. So ain't nobody tripping off of that. And they're not. Now I'll walk in the store with a bag full of stuff, and I'm just doing my thing. It's like they're not tripping off that.
And no, and I think they expect theft. Like, I don't know. I have seen so many people steal stuff out of the grocery stores
yeah.
here than I ever saw in my whole entire life in the United States. I mean, they're just blatant with it.
Oh, yeah.
Going like this into a backpack and then just running out. It's like, oh, this is how we rolling now.
They don't even call the police.
This is how we rolling. So I think so. Just like Rick, I still have to catch myself into turning off the born a suspect.
Right.
That I have to be very deliberate about my movements to show that I am not stealing because I know someone's watching, right? And so that's one thing I'm still working on that, Antoine.
Yeah, it's a daily thing. My thing was what I always have to keep in mind, and I still do, is for me not to let me get in my head doing different things because I'm used to seeing or it being a different way if I was in the States, not to be upset. If the older lady walks in front of me, happened the other day. Older gentleman that actually lives in the neighborhood with his dog, that little yapper.
Oh, yeah.
And he walks in and he just walks straight up in front of the line. It's like, okay, well, ain't nobody tripping. Ain't nobody getting upset about, hey, you can't go up here. You got to be back. No one's tripping. And then he gets out and counts the change. So now it's taking a little longer, but you learn patience. You really learn to be patient and not tripping and not being a Karen.
Or that hustle and grind.
Hustle and grind. It's like, no. Don't be that. Just chill out. It's fine.
And even with yourself. So I've told folks, and you've heard this, Antoine, it took me, 6-7 times to figure out money in the ATM. Yeah. Because like I could put it in, but I couldn't get it out because I couldn't understand the translation. The word for withdraw, it's not a direct translation.
We thought it was something totally different.
Well, yeah, it is to get up. That's the word. That's the verb. But you know how some words have more than one meaning. But Google Translate doesn't understand that. So I'm trying to get money out of the ATM and then there's a line forming. And so I'm putting pressure on myself because in America, somebody would have cussed me out by now.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody would have said, well, don't you know what's going on? Why it must take so long. No one was even paying attention to me, Portuguese speaking behind. Right? And so that was pressure that I put on myself. And then lastly, I'm still working on this, is to not to and this goes to services, right? Because that's where we feel it besides the job. It's out in the world, trying to obtain services, be it in a restaurant, the bank, or whatever. And if I'm not getting the service that I believe I deserve, to default to racist. Because as Rick said before, that whole hustle and grind, efficiencies when it comes to services and stuff is not always a thing here in Portugal. Yeah. They don't have to burn and turn these tables or anything like that. And so I've never been ignored, but I have felt like, wait a minute now, they came in after us. Right. And it's just like, whose table is it? What are we doing here? It's usually something like that. So really trying not to default to,
Yeah. You can't get beside yourself. And as many times as I've walked in the back of women and they ain't paid me no mind. They ain't think they you got to get used to people just stopping in the middle of the sidewalk and having a conversation. And it's like, and the sidewalk ain't big enough for a person, Walk like that. You seen this? And they'll stop and talk and strike up a conversation. It's like, oh Lord, they get ready to stop as I approach, and I got to step off into the street.
That's right.
With the trolleys coming.
And going about you, you're just going about you. You get, hey, it because they just mean. It's like, oh.
But do you see that? Like, I don't know. I haven't lived east of the Mississippi where there's more concentrated cities, but that's not a thing west of the Mississippi. Like for neighbors, or maybe really in the neighborhood, like on the walking trail, maybe somebody may know somebody and they'll say something or other. But in general, being that not open to conversation because these people know each other, being that community minded is not an American thing.
Mm.
I think we move more in America than they do.
Mm-hmm.
So for folks who you see the queue, this is for comments only. We're not taking questions because we're taking questions on air. So what else you got for us, Antoine?
Great. So I actually have a lot of questions, and I'm sure I'm not going to get to most of them, but I will ask a couple. So one of them is, I started my journey to want to move abroad right before, maybe a year before COVID, and I was saving and blah, 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 and COVID hit, and everything that I had saved up until that point went plummeting, and it took a very long time for it to even just come back to where it was pre-COVID, not even like go beyond that. It took a very long time. And so this year they were talking about there's going to be a recession, and they're like, oh my God, it's going to do the same thing. I'm never going to be able to move abroad, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, so the thing that it has created inside of me is a kind of fear. So when I do move abroad and I've amassed a certain amount of money, I'm worried about the fluctuation in the market. So I know that the dollar relative to the euro, just this year, like since the summer, it's just dropped a lot. And how do you guys deal with stabilizing your income, both because the dollar fluctuates and then the market fluctuates? Like, how do you think about that? How do you attend to that? How do you plan for that? Because I'm worried about moving and then not having enough money.
So I'm going to start with an esoteric answer. When you step out and you say, this is the life I want, this is the life I'm going to have, I have done everything that I can do to prepare for it, God and the universe will comply. So I'm going to start there, because did we have everything figured out? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So Antoine, you have stock investments?
Yes.
What's your philosophy? Are you invested just like in one company?
Oh no, it's diversified. Yes.
Diverse.
And so should your income.
As in not just one job, but more than one job. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying more than one stream. I do not advocate for jobs. No jobs, but more than one stream of income.
Who said that you should have at least 4 streams of income? Somebody rich.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if it was Warren Buffett or somebody like that was saying you should have at least a minimum of 4 streams of income.
Especially today, because things are so uncertain. And,
And that's where people get caught up a lot too, because they, jobs go away. And of course we know employers are no longer, they're not dedicated to you. They could care less.
The loyalty thing is gone.
The loyalty thing is gone. They still want you to be loyal to them, but they don't want to be loyal to you. So, it's not like our grandparents' days when you worked at a company for 30 years and you had a pension coming to you afterwards. And a lot of kids, all the kids that didn't want to go back to work when COVID hit, and everybody was saying, well, you got to come back to work, they start looking at it saying, nah.
I can do this, I can do that,
I need to be doing different things, because you have to count on yourself. You can't count on companies to get you there anymore.
So with that said, and this is something that we talk about in Beyond the Bling, our financial course. What are the streams of income that you're going to have coming in? It's really important to know exactly what your expenses are going to be. and then have a large emergency fund for those unplanned things, right? So to me, that was like, well, is they gonna be what they gonna be? No. No. If you say they're going to be $2,500 a month, then they need to be $2,500 a month.
Right.
Mhm.
And so maybe, like I've had to say to some of our single friends who got a lot more money, they've got just as much money, but just for one person as we do for two people. Like we can't do $50 a person dinners every night. You can afford anything but not everything, right? In order to make sure that we stay on budget, we have to say no to some things. So some people will not have to say no, but we have to say no. So with that, once you decide what the budget is, that's what the budget is. And then you move money when it is advantageous to move money. That said, then you've got to have other streams of income. Rental income, maybe. You've got dividends, but then the market goes down. When the market goes down, hopefully the rental income is still there. So that's going to start filling in the gaps. Selling intellectual property, having some kind of side hustle that provides passive income, not active income, passive income.
Mm.
That was our warning bell. Shaquan, you're up next. So for instance, we have a course that provides extra income. Is it making tens of thousands of dollars, become a million? No. But sometimes what we're talking about is the difference between a few $1,000s per quarter to get you from, okay, this is my budget, to it's time to splurge, right? Or it's going to make up for that difference in the dollar and whatever the currency is that you're dealing with. I mean, even in Mexico, it went from 20 to 1 to 16 to 1.
Oh,
right?
wow. Exactly. Mexico's terrible.
Right? So not terrible, because it's all relative.
Right.
You're right. And compared to Denver and LA, Mexico is brilliant. Even the expensive cities in Mexico, are still brilliant at even 16 to 1. But if you're from Ohio, maybe not. Indiana, maybe not. It just depends. But yeah, you want to diversify your income streams just like you diversify what you invest in.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's so important anymore.
That's
It's just important.
And so if you've got something that brings you joy that you can also monetize, we like talking to y'all.
Hey.
Right? And YouTube says, yeah, as long as you like to talk to your friends and commercial and folks want to advertise, then here's a few $100 a month, right? And sometimes that can just be the difference in that gap.
That is great. So I know you have one other, you're going to go to the next person, but I want to ask you one brief question, which is, what is the amount of money, or the way to think about money as the sort of, this is the pull the trigger point for Portugal? Do you have how would you know that you have enough?
You have okay. The easy answer is you have enough when you decide you have enough. But you know how you want to live. And so that's key, right? Like some people are like, I can live in a studio apartment as a single person. I can't. So start looking, do worst case scenario. Look on Airbnb for the type of apartment that is going to make you feel comfortable living where you want to live, right? You can go on The Earth Awaits, and I'm going to give y'all two more cost of living sites that I found. Oh, look at that! That I found, but I can't remember them right now. So, we'll send that in an email or something like that. But in any event, there are the weights for cost of living, for everything else, for the food, for the other, etc. Right? What is cell service? Like for us in Portugal, we pay €50 ish for the two of us, right? But you can go and Google what are the cell phone companies and look and see what their plans are. You can translate, the browser and get those costs. So you get your basic costs together, and looking on Airbnb is worst case scenario.
Right.
You should not be paying Airbnb prices, right? So if you plan for that and you say, okay, with everything that I see, $2,500 to $3,000 a month is plenty.
Great.
Then you plan accordingly. What do you need to feel comfortable? For us, it was 2 years living expenses. So 36,000 times 2. But we planned for Denver, not. But if it were $3,000 a month, $36,000 a year, $72,000 is what it would have been, in cash or near cash for us to feel comfortable.
Gotcha. That's
So, and that's all in what makes you feel comfortable, right? Like some people like, no, I don't need all that. I just need 9 months. Okay. Not me. That's the little bit of fear that comes in that I have to combat with my positive attitude.
Mm-hmm. That's good, because that also suggests that where you go, like my analysis for Mexico and my analysis for Portugal would be very different.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's why Mexico was one of our first choices. Right. Until we started doing more research, because look, I'm trying to keep costs as low as possible and still be happy. So,
Right.
And before I had done the math, before the math was mathing, Mexico was looking real good.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, that's what we got for you, Antoine.
Great.
And
thank you very much.
Loving this dialogue tonight. Oh, so they loved your question. So thank you for being an OG. When are you coming back?
Hopefully next year.
2024.
2025.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So in your mind, it's already 2024.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we were hoping that maybe you would come to our meetup in June. If you change your mind, we'd love to meet you in real life, and break bread and all of that.
Well, the minute I touch down, I will definitely reach out and let you know I'm there.
Sounds good. Well, no, about 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time.
Sure.
Don't wait until you land, because we might not be here. So reach out a couple of weeks ahead of time so we can plan in advance.
Right. That makes
All
sense.
right.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Antoine.
Appreciate you both. Take it easy.
Thank you.
Okay. Ciao, ciao.
All right. Last but certainly not least, do I have more? Oh, we do. Yeah. Diane and Shaquan came back. Okay, I didn't see y'all. I got you, Diane, Shaquan. We're gonna stay on time. I know we've been, but we will get all of you, and we'll make sure that you guys can ask your questions. You can't hear us, and we can't hear you. So check your mic settings, and so go down in settings down below, and then and do a test, and we will bring you back up. You want to do a test to make sure, and it'll play stuff, and if not, go out and come back in. All right, baby? I'm going to remove you right now, and then we'll come back. All right. Diane, y'all ready? Or should we go to Shaquan?
I think she's ready.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, ladies.
She's like, oh, no, you don't.
Darling.
Oh, you're
yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Hello
home
there.
How are you?
I love
Good.
it. I love
I'm
it.
at home. I'm in my kitchen,
Okay. All
and
right.
we're
What
doing
you
sweet potato pies for the new year.
All right. Oh
And I've been
man.
waiting on you guys. You must have known because this has just been such a crazy event since the airport and talking to you guys the last time. I had a blessed trip,
good?
and my baby is doing well. She's now 3 months, so
Okay.
she's growing like a weed.
Time goes so fast.
Yes. And the funny thing is, I had a visit with spirits yesterday and spoke to my father, who's been passed for some decades now. And he knew I was having doubts about Portugal
Okay.
with the tax situation, because that's kind of like freaking me out. And he's like, I know you've had your heart set on this, and that's not where you're going. And I'm like, huh? He says, it's your second choice. And I'm like, my second choice? And he's like, don't play like you don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, okay. And the second choice was Costa Rica. And I'm like, but Costa Rica has such strict things with work and all that. He was like, don't worry about that. He's like, that's well in hand and don't even worry. He said, because it's already set for you. You just have to get there. The doors will open. And I'm
Wow.
like, well, dang. I said, I've already got my trip planned for Portugal and the meetup. And he's like, you can meet up. He said, there's nothing stopping that. He said, you
But
can
that's
go up
just not
there.
the final destination.
And that's what he said. That's what and I was like, well, dang. And I was like, okay, just pull that little rug from under me. And I'm like, well,
Not necessarily.
and that's what he said. He says, I'm not pulling nothing. He says, I'm just putting you where you need to be.
At this moment
At
in
this
time.
moment. Yeah.
Yes. And I was like, okay. He says, you can always visit. He said, you don't have to live. And I
Yeah.
was like, he ain't lied about that. I said, I will be there in June. I'm going to be a little early so I can mosey around. My daughter's doing my itinerary for events and things I want to see.
I
Okay.
I'm
love
going to
it.
go kayaking and do a
Okay.
couple other things. But my question is to you guys, even still with this, how do you manage the taxes, being as though the U.S. still taxes us? How's that going to work out? That's what scared me the most about with them changing the structure of everything over there.
Okay. So first of all, we ain't tax experts.
Oh, I
and
know,
we
I
have,
know. I'm just
and
saying,
we
just
have yet this
from
is
your
for the
general knowledge.
this is for the other folks who will be watching in the future. And folks who don't know us, you know us. And also we have not yet filed taxes because we just became tax residents in
Okay.
July,
July.
August,
August, I believe. Yeah.
something like that. Because they took forever to give us our green cards. You know, y'all know,
Yes,
we
yes,
was up
yes.
in our feelings about that. But in any event, any country in which the US has a treaty, you should not be double taxed.
You shouldn't be double taxed. Yeah.
You should not be taxed in the United States and then pay taxes in a country that has a treaty with the United States. All right. So that includes Portugal.
Okay.
So the change was not that they were dissolving the treaty.
Okay.
It was just that they were no longer going to give immigrants a tax break. They were just going to give certain categories a tax break. So, so you would just be taxed just like everybody else.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that you would then also pay taxes in the United States.
Right.
Because see, that's what's kind
number
of
one.
had me freaked out. And I was
Okay.
just like, I said,
No,
I can't stress
nobody,
about that because
nobody's
it's
going to
going to
be
drive
double
me up
taxed.
the
Yeah.
wall.
You won't be double taxed.
Yeah. There are not any countries that have ever been on our list where an American would be double taxed.
Now, with the borders and the other assistance with immigrations. Now, do they help with other countries, or is it just I didn't get to look into detail as to additional
Yeah.
countries such as Costa Rica?
So Border only does Portugal, but Start Abroad, who
Start
is
abroad. I saw that
also,
one too.
they do Costa Rica.
Okay, because I was wondering which one it was. I couldn't remember because I got Borders app, but I didn't get Start Abroad. That was what happened.
Okay.
Somehow we got different situations with that. And I'm
So,
like, you know,
but you went to the summit, so you still have access to
yeah,
see who well, anybody can go and see who the speakers are and then get their
mhm.
contact information. But then in any coupon that they have, I'm sure that they will still honor Start Abroad.
Okay, that's good. But like I said, I just want to, like everybody else, or not like everybody else, from my own point of view. You guys have inspired something in me that has been there, but just like laid back and thinking, because I'm an American, I can't do that. I've got to do this rat race thing. I've got to stay here. I've got to keep plugging away to fill in that capitalism. And I want to thank you for being the inspiration I needed to get off my butt and take that leap
Yeah.
and to start my business and open my horizons and show my daughters that this is doable. You don't,
Right.
US is
Yes,
not the end all be all,
that's right.
because everybody laughed when I went to Estonia this year for a whole month. I was gone, and everybody's like, that's by Russia, right? Putin's going to kidnap you. And I was like, okay. I know you guys have, yeah, I know you've been under COVID and all that, but get real. Putin is not going to come looking for me.
But
I said,
Diane, there has been a deliberate dumbing down in America.
yes,
I mean, you can
yes.
see it, right? Like I would say, had this been the 70s or the 80s, we would have known better than to be hyperbolic like that.
And
We,
I've explained to my friends who talked to me about my trip, I said, look, I'm proud to be 54 this year. It took me 54 years to feel at ease in my own skin.
Yes.
I went to a country like the
right?
guy said just a minute ago. He was standing behind the women and was waiting for them to notice that the black man's back there. And I'm like,
Antoine.
I'm waiting for them to notice me as I'm all over the country, riding around in the city on scooters and the electric bikes. And nobody paid me any mind. They didn't grab their bags when I went in stores. They didn't look at me funny. And it was just like, this is
Right,
real. Like,
right,
I found a place where I'm not treated like I'm black. I'm treated like a person. And I mean, I saw Indians, Africans, everything you can think of, I saw in this country, which was even more weird because
right.
I'm way next to the Baltic Sea. And I'm like, what are you Africans doing over here? What
Yeah.
are you all over here for? And I'm like, they've made us believe that nobody travels to these countries, nobody's interested in these countries because
Mhm.
they're all racist and they're anti-black and they don't want you because you don't have anything to contribute. And I'm
Right.
like, I didn't find that. And I told them, I said, get your passport,
Yeah.
go abroad, see for yourself. Don't believe what you see on TV or what you believed before, see for yourself.
Yeah.
And my daughters are tired of hearing me now.
Well,
They're like, here you go again with this.
well, it's
Now my
true
daughters
because
are listening now.
we get people in the comments all the time, not in the chat. Y'all are family. We love you. But sometimes folks who are not used to watching us or don't watch us, they get into the comments and they say, every place is just as racist as the United
There's a
States.
cup right there. It is so. It's right there.
No, it
No,
ain't.
sorry, my daughter's talking to me.
Say hello to the audience, daughter. You've got
Oh, wave
216
hi.
people watching you.
Here, I gave you one. Oh my God, now she doesn't want my mug.
Do you have any other questions for us, Diane?
Other than when you've moved abroad, and how do you take, like you said, when you're 6 months you're in and everything's hunky-dory, and then by the time you're 9 months you're starting to settle in. How did you guys find that you may have needed to speak with someone, or like you said, getting closer to the other expats that are in the area? Did you find that helpful? with the psyche so that you didn't feel like you were left out or like you were homesick for the US?
Yeah, I mean, hanging out with our tribe is a big help. It's not like I missed a whole lot of anything leaving the United States or anybody, because it wasn't like I had gangs and gangs of friends or relatives who were at the house every weekend or every week or anything. It wasn't like that at all. I had one guy in Denver, my best buddy, and he came out here to visit actually.
Are you talking
And
about the cop?
yep, Ron.
See, I even
Yeah,
remember.
he's my best buddy, and you know, if I miss anybody, I miss him.
Yeah. I would say that the English speaking Black community here in Lisbon was one factor of the decision to move here. It was a major factor
Okay.
because I think in the first 2 days we met someone who had just moved here, who's been on the channel 3 times now, I think. And she's family now.
Yeah.
We met this couple within the first week and a half to 2 weeks, because Black in Portugal had, karaoke night, and we met this couple that's around our age and kept in touch with them, and they were so gracious and just so open and giving and willing to help us get there. I think those were game changers. Like we met people here that's like, so as soon as we landed, 2 days later, we had his birthday dinner, and we had, we went out to dinner with folks, and so yeah, I think that did make a difference. And I know, we don't go to places just to remain in our expat bubble, but sometimes you need to feel like you're at home away from home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there are certain expectations and certain things that you'll want to know, and you need that community to help you navigate, because we all have the same shared experience, and then we're over here, right? And so regardless of where you are, you want to find that community to help you navigate.
Yeah, it's that like-mindedness. So you come here or you go wherever you're going, and you run into people, and they're like-minded. They feel they understand how you feel, wanting to go to a foreign country to live or experience and stuff like that. And they're right there with you. So,
or when you say, where can I get a good manicure? That's relative, but it's not relative for Americans. We know what a good manicure is. What a good manicure is in other countries is not necessarily what it is in America, right? So
I found that out.
Just little things like that, for a point of reference, it really does help. It helps.
Yeah.
And it makes it feel
and
like
again,
home.
I want to say thank you so much, and I look forward to you guys in June.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yes.
We're gonna have fun.
Oh, all right. I'm there from the 13th through the 28th.
Okay.
So I'm there for a good minute. Yeah,
Perfect.
I'm gonna explore.
We will start a WhatsApp group with the folks who already have tickets. So look for that in the next week or so. And because we also do some like informal meetups before the meetup.
Okay. All right. I can't wait. I love you. I wish you guys the best.
Thank you.
Super best 24.
Back at you.
With me, and I look forward to seeing how you thrive.
Back at you.
Thank
Back
you.
at you.
you.
Definitely. Keep us posted. Guys. All right, sweetheart.
Yeah, no, my dog's here.
Hey, Shaquan.
Hey, Shaquan.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. You have to excuse me.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. You've never met my husband.
How y'all doing?
We're good. How are you?
I'm kicking and screaming as usual. I don't know a lot, but I'm learning. I'm trickling on in.
But you're gonna have to probably speak up because of the microphone.
Okay, no problem. You scoop my tail close.
Yeah. Let's go closer so y'all can hear us. But
perfect.
I have a couple of set of questions. First, Halisi, why are you not answering your emails?
Ooh.
Mama drama.
I done sent you about 6 emails. We coming out there, Halisi. coming out
No,
there
they must.
anywhere.
Okay, so they must not be going to the inbox then. If you've sent that many,
It's
so
probably
let
your
me write.
spam. Your spam.
Yeah. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, baby.
All right. Okay.
I've written
So,
down your name, so I'm gonna check now.
all right. Okay. So I have a couple of questions. Um, First, I know that you've moved from state to state, but from country to country, what would you say your biggest transition was?
Not taking every damn thing.
So we talking about getting rid of stuff. All right, got it. Got it.
I mean,
Okay, all right.
when I moved from California to Colorado, I moved food, right? Like canned goods and stuff. I moved that. The little packets and all of those samples and all that crap you get, right? All that the junk drawer got put into a box, and I moved that.
Okay.
I moved all
Mm-mm.
that crap. Like the crazy stuff I didn't move, but yes, I mean,
All
you
right.
assume that all of your furniture and all of that stuff is going to fit, or you find an apartment or a house to fit your furniture,
Okay.
but
So
not
speaking
Not
of
when
you're
that,
you're
moving, not when you move into another, like,
another
Yeah.
country. No.
yeah. Okay. So speaking of that, because the tax is so high out there in Portugal, we're in a place of, or at least I am, I'm trying to figure out what should I bring? What would be worth bringing? Because it's like, if I'm going to spend a couple of $100s on a TV, I don't want to spend the 20-something% tax on top of that, right? Or would it be worth just shipping it?
No. Sure.
shipping it, and then it gets here and it breaks,
Yeah, you're taking
or the
that.
plugs don't work, and you've got to have power conversions everywhere because the power is different here than it is there.
Yeah, electronics gets kind of hard because you have to plug in to Portuguese or European standard electricity. So some things
They won't work.
they won't work. They'll either stop working because they'll burn out or whatever because of the power. So
Yeah.
you want to be careful of. And then what kind of they don't not a I want to call it a duty tax. It's not a duty tax.
VAT.
Well, you got your VAT tax, but when you bring something over,
The customs.
custom, yeah.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't charge them because they'd be
First time.
the first time they
yeah.
wouldn't charge you. So you
Right.
get a do-over. But the prices here, even like buying a new TV, it seems to me that the tax is included in some of the prices that we see. And either way,
You don't pay separate taxes included in the price.
yeah, it seems like they list them that way because
Yeah.
I'm never surprised. I never
Yeah,
even when we
Okay.
bought electronics. So I think the prices listed include tax.
right, yeah.
So which they don't do in the United States. And so when I look at the prices of the big screen TVs and stuff like that, we haven't had to buy them because we rented a furnished apartment and it came with TVs. That could be an option. However,
Okay.
when I look at the prices of the TVs,
Okay.
like in Wharton, and and stores like that, they seem the same as they are in the United States, or even
Yeah, they're comparable.
lower,
Yeah.
a little lower for what you get or what I remember getting, like even at Costco.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would
Okay.
say you're definitely not going to pay more. And the agony that you would go through shipping like big screen TVs,
I mean, it's just a risk of shipping something like that and it getting here
in one
intact.
piece and all of that, and then the insurance, and then you've got to worry about the power and
Yeah, because there are TVs that are here. Whatever you buy here electronically is designed to
work here.
So just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
So, oh, what are some unexpected expenses that came up? Like, you've been there now a little over a year. What are some unexpected expenses that you didn't really foresee happening?
I don't think I realized that the first year we were paying for private insurance that we were getting a discount. Do you remember them saying that?
No, I don't think they said that.
Okay. But supposedly we were getting a 20% discount. And so this year it went up by 200 euro. But that's 200 euro for the whole year. So basically it went up 20 euro per month.
Oh,
So now we're paying like
Yeah,
180 euro per month. Yeah.
Okay.
But but still. So that was one thing. I forgot about the fee when you get your green card. I had forgotten about that.
It's 175 euro.
I just
Something like
forgot.
that.
Like it was in my initial budget, but it's like, okay, like that was a long time ago. So I've forgotten about that.
A piece.
A piece.
Yeah.
A piece. Yeah. And I don't know if they have like for minors, if it's discounted. I don't know. That would be a question for the immigration person that you guys are using.
See if it is.
Yeah, I doubt it too. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Anything else? I don't think so.
What about
I don't think
questions
so.
that you have? The life outside of.
All right. So I had when we were sitting down trying to figure out like what to actually ask and what to inquire about, I had a serious question to ask Quan. And I said, what about raising the question about what does life consist of outside of the move to Portugal and YouTube? So say you guys didn't jump on YouTube and share, what do you think the difference would be without the sharing?
Like your day-to-day, your community, like how different do you think it would look without YouTube?
That's a good question. The initial people that we were talking about that we met, it had nothing to do with YouTube. So we would have already had the core, because when we came out here, we had just launched. We had like 300 subscribers, y'all. I mean, come on. Wasn't nobody paying attention to us. Well, Antoine was. Thank you, Antoine. And some other folks who are in the chat. But we got some OGs. We got some ride or dies. But for the most part, they
hold on. I've been watching for some months now. Look, I've been watching for.
I know your name.
I'm like, oh no, I've been here for a minute.
Okay.
We have a few people who are there, like from the third live that we did way back in 2022, like March 2022. So there's just a few, like Greta, right? Yeah. Profess LCH is another one. There's a few, and new or old, we love y'all. We really do. We do have fun, and I have to say, the majority of our network has nothing to do with YouTube. We have a few friends here that we did interview, but they didn't like. We had only Penny and June were watching us before we interviewed them. That's them folks. They're like, YouTube.
Yeah.
What's that? Who you think you are? They ain't paying attention. They don't even watch us. So all the people that we've interviewed here that are part of our friends, they do it because they're our friends. They don't do it because they think, they're part of the YouTube tribe. They were part of our tribe just because we're us, So which is nice.
It is truly.
Right. But we've got some people who were subscribers and now they're friends. But once you get to know us, it's like, I'm not impressed. They're not impressed.
We're just
right? They're like Alicia and Rick.
We just hang out, have fun, do things.
Yeah. So it is really easy to, and I say that to say, like, all jokes aside, though, I say that to say it is easy to make friends with other immigrants because there's that commonality. And then there's a sense of adventure. Like you have to be pretty adventurous to do this thing, right? Especially being American. But even folks from other countries,
Right.
all of our friends are not American, but
Okay.
most of them are immigrants. Not all of them, but most of them are immigrants. They're just from other countries.
Mhm.
And not necessarily
Okay.
England either, not necessarily English speaking. So there's that commonality. You have to have a certain kind of spirit to do this thing.
Yeah, because Quan is presented a few different like variables. Like, okay, let's do this, let's try this, let's she hit me about starting our own channel and the process to getting to Portugal and everything else. And she was like, how do you feel about it? Like, do you want to do something you're interested in? And I'm like, so you want to turn us into to Rick and Elise? That's what you want to do?
And I'm like, no. Because what I told him
No.
was that I've been
Y'all
watching
too
you guys.
young.
You guys started before you came to Portugal.
But that's what she said.
And that's what I was saying.
Her driving point.
That's my driving point, is that with our rich journey, I started with them like 5 or 6 years ago.
Mhm.
And of course, they immersed themselves in the culture, and a bit of their content wasn't as up to date and relative for someone like me who's making the transition. And then I found you guys, and you guys were just doing it. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta tag in. I need all this information. I need all the resources. Yes. And so I'm like, we have that aspect, but in addition to the pressures of doing it with young children. And I'm like, to make that move, not only for ourselves and for what we want for ourselves, but to do it for the future for our children. Because, we have some isms, right? We have dealt with all the isms. They're young. They're 2 and 3.
Exactly.
They have it.
Exactly.
And so I want to see what life could be. What does a young Black child look like that wasn't altered by America? I want to see that, and I would love to be able to show it. So that was my idea. That was just my thinking.
Okay.
And are you skeptical?
Me
Or no?
personally?
Uh-huh.
Nah. I think it'll be very, very different. But I don't know if I'm personally ready for what comes with it or what may come with it.
Rick, talk to him, please.
It may
Rick.
Rick. Some guidance, big brother.
So, okay. So, what do you think would come with it that would bother you?
Well, because it could. All right. So, I don't know exactly what to expect in Portugal because we're coming. That's a God-given fact. We coming.
We have spent the money. We are coming.
We're coming. So,
Okay.
Yeah. On top of that, it's for me. I'm not as tuned in as I should be because Shaquan is way more tuned in. She knows, hey, this area, this is expected over here, there. We got to go shopping over here. Like everything is. She got the details, and me, I'm like, oh, okay, just
So what are you apprehensive about?
be a good husband, protect the family, and go there. So I'm very just not so sure about if I'm
like
able
me.
to do all.
You're like me.
Wait. Yeah. You're not so sure that you'll be able
That's
to
all
do
I
what
gotta
now?
tap in to make sure I can protect and do what I'm supposed to do as a husband, as a father for my family. So it's like I need to be able to understand if there's a danger in the area to evaluate and process that danger potential. You know what I mean? I'm moving with 3 women.
I'm
so
sorry,
I am
sweetheart.
going to be.
What does that have to do with a YouTube channel? I'm not connecting the dots.
Oh, because okay. So I'm oh man. All
What
right.
is your apprehension on the
My apprehension on the YouTube channel is just this. I don't want to be focused on the YouTube channel and what our content is and missing all the stuff happening right in front of me when it pertains to the family and the girls. So I could be focused on this to be good, this to be a good shot, and I'm missing out on the time spent, quality time with the wife, quality time with the girls, proper upbringing, best I can, I guess. So I don't want to miss out on that stuff, trying to focus or worry about the YouTube channel itself thriving.
And see, to me, I think that it would just be a nice little caveat, a nice little sprinkle on top to say, hey, this is our life. If you like it, you like it. If it's for you, it's for you. Not so much where it has to be a business and it has to be driven and it has to be a success. And it's more like,
Right.
no,
I don't know why
either.
it has to be either or, right? It doesn't have to be either or. So,
Okay.
I mean, Christina and Aman, I think, are a good example. Those girls,
Yeah.
they know who they are. And that's what you want.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you want. Like, right? That's what you want. You want
Yeah.
young people who know who they are and feel comfortable in their own skin.
Yeah.
If they can do it, you can do it.
You can do it.
Okay? So do it.
So I gotta get rid of the American. All right, got it.
Right? And
All right.
focus on not
Like,
not the channel. Focus on what value. I need you guys to listen. Focus on what value you're going to bring to the people who are going to listen to you. That's what you want to
see,
focus
that's
on,
what
as
I'm
opposed to the
saying.
shot. Okay,
That's exactly
so
what she said.
and
That's
that's
exactly what she
and that's your give back, right? So that's what we focus on. You know, how can we help the next Halisi and Rick, whether they're
Yeah.
the 40-year-old version or the 70-year-old version? How can we help? We've been on almost 3 hours, y'all.
All right. And
Yeah.
then what would you tell your 30-year-old self about moving to Portugal? Like, what would you say to convince your 30-year-old self to, hey, don't stay in America? And I'm talking about 30-year-old Halisi and 30-year-old Rick.
Yeah. It wouldn't have been about moving to Portugal because there's something that has to come first, and that's the money. And that's the part that I didn't have. And see the difference between, because I'm of a certain age. When I was 30, you could not make money online. There was no online.
Yeah, it wasn't there.
So it would have been more about increase your savings rate at a regular basis and invest it and figure out a way to invest it.
Yeah, it'll be more or less teaching them how to save, invest.
Yeah. Figure out how 8 years from now, you never have to work again. And then you can live wherever you want to live, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Then the book is
A
closed
lot of
because I
the
figured out
younger-
how to not have to work. So we got that. I have figured out how we don't have to work.
Look,
Okay.
money equals choices. Let's not get it twisted.
me-
Money equals choices.
You hit the nail on the head when you would say freedom units. I've always seen money as a way to free. That's it. That's all
That's
it is
right.
to me.
Yeah.
It just gives me
That's right.
an opportunity. That's it.
Absolutely.
And your family's going to
Okay.
be fine.
Yeah.
Your family's going to be fine.
Yeah. You move into a safer place.
I mean, and you're working for yourselves on top of that. You're
Thank
building.
you.
I won't say working, you're building. And
Okay.
it's just how you look at it. You have to look
Okay.
at it certain ways.
Absolutely.
Because your girls are with you.
That's right.
It's not like you leaving the house, going to somebody's job, being stressed out, and coming home being stressed out.
Right. Right. Being
Okay.
physically there, but not being there.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah.
that is exactly what this is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you for all of the sage information and the
You're
guidance. I think it
welcome.
kind of lit a fire under them. I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
I'm feeling really good about it. But yeah, thank you. Check your emails, Halisi.
Yeah, 'cause I would love
I
to
just
sit
I
down.
just put a double check.
Yeah, she did. She
Right?
put a double.
Double check email and I underlined your
We trying to
name.
see
So
your
I will.
ability.
Yeah, I would love
All
to.
right.
Okay.
All right, baby.
All right.
Bye.
Talk to you
Bye-bye.
soon. All right, last but certainly not least, I hope your stuff is working. I think, can we hear you?
Yes, I could hear
All right.
you. I had laughed, enjoyed myself.
Oh,
Oh
good.
my goodness. I said, if I don't get on, I had a good time.
Oh,
What a
good.
way to end the new year.
Yes.
What a way.
Yes.
Let me say this to both of you. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
She's going to take us to church, y'all.
Y'all know I am. Halisi and Rick, what you taught me this year, you taught me to set some big goals. Books, being around individuals, and creating my goals. That wasn't taught me in Catholic school, in college, and even getting my PhD. They teach you pieces of it. What was also not taught me was vulnerability. What was also not taught me is just being real. Y'all say something every week that sometimes we skip over, but you say it every week. Halisi, you say minus $22,000. And Rick, you say y'all won. It was
Crazy.
crazy. You all are millionaires, and I don't take that lightly. To share that you were minus 22,000, and I know I go deeper than that, you made me comfortable. You made us and people who probably don't have a 401k or work in a contract job and don't have the benefits, they get fired and go from one to another. These jobs have fixed it so that you will never have a 401k and that you will never be able to save and have a retirement. You allowed me to be seen even after I had the 3 strokes, 1 blindness in the eye, and Rick, you had the audacity to come on the air and say, "You're gonna be all right." Who that man? I only asked you about Social Security. I was so insecure. What's that? That's new. For any of us that's going into that, Social Security is another game changer. I never fathomed in my mind about creating anything. Do you not know for a whole year I was still looking for jobs? Do you not know that? Still looking and still doing the interview and getting rejected for 6-figure jobs. Then got an interview, then got a cover letter and said you hired. They called back the next day and said, "Oh, we changed our mind." So I say, "Well, God, what you trying to say? I can tell everybody else what God is saying. You mean I can't hear it?" So I laid in bed. And you said something earlier about getting still and quiet. This whole time, Halisi, I need to create my spiritual YouTube channel. I'm tired of everybody coming and getting free information. We got to remember and believe. This is not just a thing of believing. We got to come to a thing of knowing.
Yes.
I know. Just like I know I'm going to see again in this eye, I know I'm going to be a millionaire. It may not take 1 or 2 or 3 years. I may not be able to see y'all in Portugal, but guess what? You will know my energy is there because there is no doubt in my mind just because of you two. You didn't give me anything. Y'all, they didn't pay me to say nothing because of you two and your courage, your vulnerability, and your gentleness, just sharing with us. I had to say that first. Okay. My question, because I know y'all want to go out to New Year. I love you all so much.
Love you back.
I know you tell us to study stuff, and I know we studied a lot of stuff, but I know if I study miscellaneous things, I will obtain miscellaneous things. But I know if I study finance, I'm going to obtain some finance.
That's right.
My question regarding mindset, because every week you make sure that our mind is right. When and how and what did it look like when you stopped conforming to other people's expectation and started performing to what you believe was happening to you, notwithstanding the minus $22,000. But what was the code switch? What triggered you all after the $22,000? What did that look like? How did the shock wear off that you might not be able to retire?
I think it was two parts for me. Because I'm overly optimistic, I told you that. So when Homeboy was talking about it was never that we couldn't retire. It was what was our life going to look like in retirement, right? So, because at some point you may be forced. But a planned retirement where we get to live how we want to live, yeah, that wasn't in the plan, or we just couldn't see it. But I think things happen in stages, and there wasn't a light switch. There was a light switch moment in phase 2, but phase 1 was, let's just be smarter about this, right? Like, when we were at negative 22,000, I didn't realize we were at negative 22,000 because I was too afraid to look. But I was too afraid to look. But I did know what our high interest debt was, and I knew that was stage 1. Just get rid of that, and that would at least allow us to save more money. I still didn't even know about investing. So the meeting that we had with the so-called financial planner was the wake-up call. I didn't realize we were negative 22,000 until we were out of debt, and I went back and started adding it up. I was like, well, dang, and so that's how I found that out. But we just started off with that credit card debt. But then phase 2, because that's what everybody knows to do. Get out of debt, save money. That's what everybody knows to do. But when we figured out and found out about the FIRE movement, that was the switch. That was Stephanie Perry, and I just love her. She's so friggin' wise, but she'd say something. She would say, is it the degree that you want, or is it a feeling that you want to get, that you think getting the degree is going to provide for you? And what else could happen to give you that same feeling? What else? To be financially free. That's the thing. Like if I think about all of the stuff that I wanted to achieve in life, it was always to get to financial freedom. All that other stuff. Oh, we're going to be a singer. We're going to do this. Like if you told me, if you start here and in 8 years you can be there and you can be financially free, I'm not going to spend time. I am not going to spend time doing vocal exercises. I'm not going to spend time doing interview. I'm going to spend time on doing whatever I can do to make money, to save, so I can be financially free. Yes. Then if I want to sing, I do it on my own terms.
Yes.
Then if I want to do X, Y, and Z, all of those other things that I thought were going to bring me joy, but in the end, it was still about financial freedom. That and so once I figured out how attainable that was, all of the nonsense, crappy way of thinking about money and thinking about ourselves and what we have to spend money on to make ourselves feel good about ourselves, all that stuff turned off because it was all trying to get that feeling. The feeling of financial freedom. And you do that by trying to dress the part and have other people praise you and all that other nonsense because you look and fly and you driving this and you live there and all this stuff, but you hustling and grinding and you're miserable. Right? But hey, you got some aspect of it.
Yeah, that's why the his and her Teslas went to the wayside real quick.
Like Nordstrom, they were sad to see me go. They were sad to see me go. But I don't care anymore, because the whole thing is we are responsible for our own time 100% of the time.
Right.
We have no one else dictating our time, and that's lovely, except for y'all on Sundays. But that was our choice too, though,
But
right?
we enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just couldn't, sitting down, as you said, phase one with the financial advisor, and feeling so depressed because, him saying, well, looking at the numbers, this is this, this is this, this is this. And it's like, oh my God. So then, and I really had that feeling. I'll never be able to retire. I'll just, trying to keep it put in my mind that I'll be working until they just cart me off.
depressing.
And it's like, no, it can't just rest there. There's got to be something more to it. There's got to be things that we can do to get us to where we need to be. And then having a brave wife helps.
Well, no, because you found
Well,
ORJ.
yeah, but yeah.
But why didn't that financial advisor say, y'all need to be investing more, right? And you need to increase your savings rate. If you want to live like this, then increase your savings rate by this amount and invest it. And if you're a financial advisor, advise. Don't tell me that the water's wet. Had I looked at the numbers, I would have known the water was wet, but I didn't want to look.
And that's the big thing. We actually did a show about that.
Yeah, we did.
Not being afraid to look at your numbers.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people it's depressing to look at.
Yeah.
But you got to.
You have to.
It's depressing, but yet it's empowering.
It's empowering. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. My second question, one, I want to piggyback on what you said, life looking like. No one taught us about what life would look like. We didn't even know how to imagine that. We were told, we were instructed, take care of your family, no matter what. We serve God. Nobody told us to take care of us. And here I am, 62. Ain't nobody here to take care of me.
Right. Right.
So I'm grateful for the tribe simply because I don't feel shame.
Yeah.
I don't feel any angst. I feel free.
Yes.
I like waking up at 9:30.
I know that's right.
Drinking my coffee.
Right.
What I take from you all are modeling from what it looked like from minus $22,000 to what it looked like as millionaires now. I want to model what it looked like from starting from below the pit of the earth to healing my body, healing my mind, healing my finances. Mm-hmm. Being in the tribe, it is the family, because the family that I have, they're my relatives. They're not my family. And to have imagine what life would look like in Mexico, what life would look like in Portugal. I can feel that and have that elevated emotion through y'all. So my last question, how did it take, wait a minute. How long did it take to work through your anxiety or excitement, your fear or resistance of what you were being and becoming a millionaire? You told us some questions.
Yes. I'm not sure that I had fear once we were on the journey, once we were specifically on the journey. I have fear of the unknown. I think that's what it is, right? And so when I didn't know how to do the thing, that's when I walked in fear. But once somebody showed me how to get from negative 22,000 to $1 million, there was no fear. It's like, oh, is that it? Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah, you have your duh and uh-oh moments. It's like, really? That's what it took?
And kind of deep down inside, y'all know this stuff.
Yeah.
You knew it. You knew it. You just didn't want to fess up to it because that means you had to give up some stuff.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and if you don't look at the numbers, then you don't know what the pathway is. But once someone showed me with their numbers how to calculate it and how it's done, there was no fear. It's like, okay, I can do that. Now I have a path. Now I have a plan. I can do it. So, yeah. But when I was younger, just fear, operating in fear.
Wow.
A fear that you, and a lot of the fear is that you're going to miss out on something by not getting something that you think you need, but you really don't.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to get financially free, which is what you really want. Right. And so you just get the trappings of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Halisi and Rick, my prayer for you for 2024 and further is that this channel grow beyond your expectations.
Oh,
that people like the people that's already in the tribe, that the people who are out in darkness and afraid and have to look at your channel in the dark because they are afraid about their finances. I pray they get free and join this channel and that it exposes the darkness and into light. May it be magical for all of us.
Yes.
Yes. Both. I love you both so much. Thank you.
We love you back.
We love you too.
And let the tribe say amen.
Amen. Sorry for the confusion. I want my offering, people. Send the offering.
I love it. I love it. I love it. We had a super chat that I put up. And so we're going to end with this. I'm going to take you off. We love you. Thank you so much. You have me crying. I got to put my makeup back on, girl. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. So we had, I don't know if DY is still in the chat. Y'all, we're at 2 hours, 41 minutes. I couldn't put everything up. I didn't expect it to be this emotional. LaDon, Ronald, Vivian, Antoine. I wanted to bring you guys back up. Diane's still even in the audience. But did I stay on task? No, I didn't. I forgot to set timers and everything else.
Right.
What can I do? Y'all know that 100% of our super chat, super thanks, and super sticker money goes to our scholarship fund. Like Gabrielle, G. Marcella was saying, I don't know why I had Gabrielle in my mind. We do teach what we didn't know. Every mistake that we made, right? Mm-hmm. We help eliminate for you in the course called Beyond the Bling, Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence. Yeah. Right. And so 100% of the money that we get goes to our scholarship fund. And which reminds me, those are some other emails that I need to check as well. So after New Year's, I'll get at it, folks. I will get at it. So thank you so much. We love y'all.
Thank you all. Have a fantastic New Year's.
Yes.
If you're going out this evening, be safe. Please be safe. Enjoy your celebrations and bring in the new year right. Because we love you.
Yes, we do. We do. And 2024 is going to be the year for seismic changes.
Yes.
Know it, believe it, let it happen. Love you guys. See ya.